what makes things miles worse is that the mom claimed her daughter had a boyfriend named David. There were also a bunch of alleged photos of them together and even a stream clip of them together. On top of this, David hasn't been seen or said a peep since all of this came out.
Where you at, Berto?
So, what happened to David?
I'm not sure if you guys remember, possibly the biggest news in music of this year, but David had some crazy allegations against him, and it feels like we just haven't heard anything from anyone about it.
Why isn't he in jail? Why isn't this guy in jail? Weirdo. Because at this point, it don't even feel like alleged to me. I'm very confused.
At all. Like, is he a suspect? Did he get arrested? What's going on? Well, in case you forgot, let me briefly refresh your memory. Also, by the way, if there's any wind in the background, I don't know what the problem is, but it's just windier than I've ever heard in my life. I feel like I'm in a hurricane, which is unrealistic because I don't live near the ocean, but yeah, sorry if that's in the background. It's really annoying. Basically, David was a guy who was very popular for making songs like Romantic Homicide. This track blew up in July of 2022, and shortly after—
It's so sad though, like, this guy was an actual talented artist. Now, I wasn't really ever a fan, but obviously because of the crazy situation, you know, his music was just everywhere at the time, and it's like, bro, dude was actually talented, but he's a fucking sicko, gang. Sicko. Weirdo. Because one thing that is 100% clear, no matter what he did or didn't do, we have 100% evidence that he's a P and he likes to fondle kids.
After he signed a record deal to Interscope, he continued releasing music, opened for SZA on his tour. He also got to do that track Feel It for Invincible, a song that fans absolutely loved. He had a Fortnite collab song called Locked and Loaded, and overall it seemed like he had a cool, likable vibe and personality, which is why everyone was shocked when the news dropped that he was linked to a murder. When the news first came out, it was reported that there was a body in his car that had been in there for an extended period of time before being found. It was too badly decomposed to be identified. Apparently, the car had been at the impound lot for a few days. This was after the car had been abandoned a few days before that, without ever being reported missing. According to NBC, a spokesperson for David said he has been informed about what's happened, and although he's still out on tour, he's fully cooperating with the authorities. But he would have been touring for over a month before the body was discovered according to his tour dates, which is why, like I said, most people figured it couldn't have possibly been him. On top of that, the LAPD said it is one of several vehicles owned by the musician, with many different people using any of the vehicles at any given time. The police didn't arrest him or anything, and he just went on to perform like normal the same night, handing out labubus to the crowd. But then things took a turn for the much worse when the body was identified.
And now some breaking news on a major story that we've been following. We have just learned the identity of a teen found dead inside of the trunk of a Tesla registered to the singer David. Investigators now say that the victim, Celeste Rivas, reported as a runaway last year, had not been seen since.
It was the body of a young girl named Celeste, who would have just turned 15 years old. She went missing back in April of 2024 when she was 13, so she was missing for over a year. Of course, this in and of itself doesn't directly link her to David, but TMZ interviewed the girl's mom, who said that her daughter had a tattoo on her right index finger in red ink. Well, David also had the same tattoo on his right index finger. And this tattoo isn't unique to David. I mean, Rihanna, Lindsay Lohan, and Lily Allen also have it. But what makes things miles worse is that the mom claimed her daughter had a boyfriend named David. Right after this news came out, David canceled his show. TMZ confirmed that a house that David was living in was being searched by the LAPD. The house itself was being rented by his manager from Interscope, but there are tons—
Where there's smoke, there's fire. There can't be that many coincidences, bro.
Of pictures with him in the house over the past year. Apparently, LAPD homicide detectives searched the house Wednesday and walked out with a computer and several evidence bags. The only other thing we know is that there was a photo of David taken just a brief walk from near where the victim originally lived. The person who posted the picture was alleging that David was paying people off, but there isn't any concrete proof on that. All we know for sure is that he was in the area. At the time I made my video covering this was all of the official information that we had from the police. However, internet detectives did find a weird amount of coincidences. For example, there were a bunch of people on his Discord server who were apparently aware of his connection to Celeste. There were also a bunch of alleged photos of them together and even a stream clip of them together. There was a weird Reddit post from a guy who said, a close friend's little sister from the LE ran away last year and this is who she was with. This was posted, by the way, before all this came out, so it seemed almost too on the nose to not be true. There was a song that leaked that had her name as the title. There were weird old tweets that were brought into question, and there was a bunch more that I covered in detail in that video.
Wait, hold on. I know you you guys usually skip this part of the video, but give me 1 second. I want to put you guys on real quick on a way to make some extra money that is 100% legit, and you could do it all from your phone. TesterUp is a platform that works with games to find new users just like you to test their games out. These apps and games are willing to pay new users to get on their platform because 9 times out of 10, they genuinely actually like playing the game. And the app in return ends up making money because you're playing the game that they paid you to play. I know that sounds a little bit too good to be true, but this is why I'm breaking it down for you so you understand the business behind it and how it works. TesterUp helps put money back in your pocket that these platforms are willing to pay for new users. So if you already like playing games on your phone, click the link in the description or use the QR code on the screen. You're gonna make a free account. It's completely free to do, and you can start making $10 to $20 off of games that you already love playing. This isn't a get rich quick scheme, so it's full transparency here, but if you're dedicated enough and you like playing games on your phone, there's people already making hundreds of dollars as well. Again, it's completely free to try. Use the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description. Check it out and make some extra cash.
But despite all of this being speculation, it still looked really bad for David. I mean, in my opinion, at the very least, it looked apparently clear that he was guilty of having a relationship with a 13-year-old girl.
Facts.
And he was like 20 at the time or
Facts.
something like that. So disgusting. But is he responsible for her death? Well, let's see where the investigation is at today. The most recent news we have is that David is actually a suspect and is under investigation. His family was summoned to testify in front of a court, and this revealed that while he isn't an official suspect or hasn't been charged, they are looking into him. His family has been challenging the summon to court, saying that the court ordered Mr. Burke to travel across the country to appear before a California grand jury without ever allowing him to see the full documents that justified the extraordinary compulsion. They also live in Texas, which might be part of the reason they don't want to go. Regardless, the police and the courts have taken efforts to make sure that nothing about this case goes public, especially as they investigate, which could make sense because of how high profile this case is. For example, the LA County Medical Examiner's Office was told not to reveal any details about Celeste's death to the public. And the medical examiners aren't happy about this either, saying security holds are virtually unheard of in other countries and has not been proven to improve outcomes in the legal system. Regardless of all this, David's family's appeal to challenge the subpoena was denied, so they will have to testify. And because of them challenging it, some people think that means they know a little bit about the situation. Lauren Conlin, a journalist for Los Angeles Magazine, has been following this case closely and believes that David's family testifying is crucial, and that the reason no one has been indicted or named as a suspect is because they are waiting to hear from his family first, which would imply David is a strong contender for a suspect.
So as of now, March 10th, they have not testified. That is just right now. That could change at any time. But previously, we were under the impression over here at Los Angeles Magazine that the grand jury would be convening through February, and by March, we might see an indictment. I believe that we have not seen one yet because the testimony of David's family is very, very important. And this is my opinion. I'm going to give you a couple reasons why I believe their testimony is dire. Number one, the transfer of property. David transferred some of his assets to his mother. Whose idea was this? Was it her idea? Was it his?
That's some guilty ass shit. Again, too many coincidences. Why are we doing this? If we feel like we're innocent, why are we putting our assets in different people's names? What's going on with that?
His idea? How did he explain this? Did they email about this? Was there money exchanged? I want more details. Two, is there or was there a time when David possibly called his parents excessively, emailed them excessively?
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe if he got himself into trouble and he didn't know what to do, sometimes we call our parents. Well, I want to know. And number three, his family could establish a timeline. They maybe could tell us a time when David randomly or sporadically flew home to Texas out of the blue. What was he like? Did he seem upset? Was he injured? Did they look at his car? Did they look at his clothes? Did they notice anything funny? These are just three reasons that I believe their testimony is so important, but there are a lot more reasons other than what I just listed.
There was also a guy named Neo Langston, a social media influencer who's been seen with David often, who was arrested and bailed out of jail in January this year. But this didn't provide too much insight. According to IB Times, he made some weird posts on Instagram, and they said his tone appeared defiant as he dismissed any lingering legal jeopardy regarding his recent detention. Thankfully, I'm legally fine in every way, and boy do I got all my receipts for things, ha 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 ha. This suggests Neo has documented proof that could influence the murder investigation. I told so many people that I trust and I thought knew me as a person, my side of things, all for that to be thrown out the fucking window as soon as I got arrested, and they slapped that dickhead's name next to mine. The investigative grand jury, the people looking into the case right now, have had people like David's manager in and out of the building to testify, so that's also a little bit of an insight. Regardless though, we still don't know too much about this case. Investigators are keeping everything under wraps, and it's possible that they're maybe not trying to scare away suspects into running out of the country. On top of this, David hasn't been seen or said a peep since all of this came out, which also makes sense. All we really know is that investigators are looking into David as a potential suspect, and if his family
It's crazy that it's potential though.
does end up testifying soon, we could end up with an actual indictment and charges against David or whoever they think is guilty. Anyway, all we can really hope for is justice for Celeste, because this case is truly horrifying, and hopefully they're able to prosecute everyone involved with the brutal murder of a 14-year-old girl to the fullest extent of the law. So stick around and subscribe if you guys want to be kept up with the news on this or any other music related news. But that's really
Word, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. It is very sad to see that this still has not been resolved, bro. Like, are we getting close to almost a year now that we've heard about it? You know, we was covering it early on, and I kind of stepped away from covering it because there was just no arrests being made. And it's crazy that we're inching like, what, 30, 40% into 2026, and there's still no arrests being made. And David is just radio silent. So y'all don't even know what y'all think in the comments, bro. Very, very, very sad situation. But hopefully we'll get something new soon. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Where you at, family? I'll see y'all next week.
Where you at, Berto?
I made this shit look too easy.